Hello everyone, myself Dr. Narendra Kumar Singh, Associate Professor, Babu Banarsi Das University, Lucknow. Today, in this video lecture, I am going to start the paper Pharmaceutical Analysis 1. And the first unit of this paper is Pharmaceutical Analysis. The paper code of this paper is BP 102T. So, coming on the first unit of this paper, that is Pharmaceutical Analysis. So, in this video lecture, we will cover the definition of pharmaceutical analysis, scope of pharmaceutical analysis, and different types of quantitative analysis. So, coming on the definition of pharmaceutical analysis. So, pharmaceutical analysis is a process or a series of processes that are involved for the determination of a chemical substance of pharmaceutical importance, quantitative determination of the pharmaceutical substances, impurity present in pharmaceutical substances, or determination of the chemical structure of a new compound. All these comes under pharmaceutical analysis. Pharmaceutical analysis can be categorized into qualitative analysis, and quantitative analysis. So, qualitative analysis is the determination of the nature of the substance when a new substance is given to the analyst. The first question for the analyst is, what is the sample? What is the nature of the sample? And if the nature of the sample means the sample when identified, the next task for the analyst is determination of the quantity of that sample. So, quantitative analysis is the measurement of the quantity of sample. So, we can say that qualitative analysis is the measurement the nature of the sample, or we can say to identify the nature of the sample, and quantitative determination is the determination of the quantity of sample, or we can say that quantitative analysis is the answer of the question how much the substance is, and qualitative determination is the answer of the question what is the sample. So, now coming on the scope of pharmaceutical analysis. Now, coming on the scope of pharmaceutical analysis, a new pharmaceutical active substance is either synthesized by chemical synthesis from the existing molecule, or it may be isolated from the natural sources, from the plant, from animals, or from herbs or minerals, that is called the herbomineral substances. So, when a new pharmaceutical active substance is synthesized, it involves a number of the reaction through which it is synthesized, and after its synthesis, it is isolated from the mother liquor, which consists of a lot of impurities, and it is crystallized several times in order to purify the pharmaceutical active substance. After its synthesis, the pharmaceutical active substance is determined what is the chemical structure of the pharmaceutical substance, by using a lot of pharmaceutical techniques like NMR spectroscopy, mass spectroscopy, UV visible spectroscopy, IR spectroscopy. Its molecular weight determined on the basis of the number of elements present in it and their percentage, and all these things comes under pharmaceutical analysis. When the structure of the new compound is determined, the next step is this pharmaceutical active substance is converted in the form of a pharmaceutical formulation. It involves the mixing of active pharmaceutical agent with diluent, additives, binder, lubricant, and so many things. So before mixing active pharmaceutical substance with all these excipients, the excipients must be determined for its nature and the presence and absence of the impurity in it. So the impurity in pharmaceutical active substances as well as excipients must not be more as a permissible limit determined or specified in pharmacopoeias. When a pharmaceutical formulation is developed, during their manufacturing, in-process quality control involves the determination of the weight variation testing, release rate, dissolution rate, and after when formulation is developed, before entering the market, it must be comply all the tests that is specified in the pharmacopoeia for that particular formulation. So all these are the scope of pharmaceutical analysis. Now coming on different types of pharmaceutical analysis. So pharmaceutical analysis can be categorized in different categories. So first we will discuss the classical or traditional methods of pharmaceutical analysis. So classical and traditional method of pharmaceutical analysis are gravimetry, titrimetry, and volumetry. These are the classical methods that are used for determination of the pharmaceutical substances. So gravimetry is the determination of the weight of the substance. It involves the conversion of the substance that has to be determined. In gravimetric analysis, the substance that has to be determined is first converted in the form of insoluble precipitate by adding a suitable precipitating reagent. So the substance first converted in the form of insoluble precipitate, and the precipitate is digested, and then it is filtered and washed with water or any other solvent is specified, and then it is dried and ignited at a particular temperature. After that, its weight determined, and the quantity of the substance present in the sample is determined by taking the weight of precipitate. Some special techniques in gravimetric analysis are electrogravimetry, in electrogravimetry, the sample is subjected to the electrolysis by using any electrolytic cell, and the substance that deposited on an electrode is determined, and on the basis of the weight of substance deposited on the electrode, its weight in the sample is finally determined. Other techniques which record a special parameter as a function of temperature and time in gravimetry is thermogravimetry. Is represented as Tg. In thermogravimetry, we determine the weight of substance as a function of temperature or time. Other techniques are differential thermal analysis. In differential thermal analysis, we determine the change in temperature, the difference in the temperature between the inert reference substance as well as test substance. In differential scanning calorimetry, we determine the energy required to maintain a temperature differential between the zero temperature differential between test substance as well as reference substance. So all these are the special types of gravimetry: thermogravimetry, differential thermal analysis, and differential scanning calorimetry. So now coming on titrimetry. Titrimetry involves the measurement of the strength of any substance just by adding a suitable reagent in it in order to complete the reaction, and we determine the amount of reagent required for the complete reaction. And the endpoint in titrimetric analysis is determined by adding a suitable reagent, suitable indicator, and the quantity of the analyte in the sample or strength of the solution is determined. So different types of titrimetric analysis in acid-base titration, some flexometric titration, precipitation titration, oxidation reduction titration, in acid-base titration, by using a suitable indicator to denote the endpoint, we can determine the strength of acid solution or base solution and vice versa. In complexometric titration, we generally determine the concentration of the metals present in the sample by using some chelating agent or complex forming agent. Best example of complex forming agent is EDTA. Here some complex forming indicators are used that denote the endpoint of the reaction. In precipitation titration, we determine the concentration of generally halides. Halides are the common example. For example, the concentration of the chloride, bromide and iodide can be determined by just adding silver nitrate solution. So silver nitrate form the precipitate with halides, and at the end of reaction, indicators change their color and the amount of AgNO3 required for the reaction is determined, and on the basis of the amount of AgNO3 required, we determine the concentration of the halides in the sample. In oxidation reduction titration, we generally determine the strength of oxidizing or reducing agent in the sample. So all these are the example of titrimetric analysis. Volumetric analysis is also a type of classical or transitional method of analysis. In volumetric analysis, we generally determine the volume of a gas evolved or absorbed in a particular reaction. So all these are the classical methods of pharmaceutical analysis. Now coming on second, electrochemical methods of pharmaceutical analysis. In electrochemical method of pharmaceutical analysis, we determine the current or voltage and resistance and all these parameters are directly related to the concentration of analyte. So different electrochemical methods are voltammetry. In voltammetry, we generally determine the amount of current at a particular microelectrode at a particular voltage, and colorimetry. In colorimetry, we determine the amount of current and the time required for a electrochemical reaction. Potentiometry. In potentiometric determination, we determine the potential difference of electrode when it is in equilibrium with the ionic concentration of the analyte. And next electrochemical technique is conductometric titration. In conductometry, they measure the conductance of the ionic solution, and conductance of the ionic solution is directly proportional to the mobility of the ions. It means when the concentration of the ions decreases, then conductance of the solution also decreases. So it is directly related to the concentration of a particular ion in the sample. So all these voltammetry, colorimetry, potentiometry, and conductometry are the type of electrochemical methods of quantitative chemical analysis. Next technique of pharmaceutical analysis is spectroscopic technique. In spectroscopic techniques, we determine the intensity of light absorbed by the sample or intensity of light emitted by the sample. The intensity of light absorbed or emitted by the sample is the characteristics of the sample. Each and every sample absorbs a particular wavelength of light, and the intensity of light absorbed or emitted is directly related to the concentration of the analyte. Different spectroscopic techniques are UV visible spectroscopy, fluorimetry, atomic absorption spectroscopy, flame photometry, IR spectroscopy, NMR spectroscopy, in UV visible spectroscopy, we determine the concentration of substance that have the capacity to absorb the UV visible light. It is a molecular absorption spectroscopy. Fluorimetry is the measurement of the light emitted by any chromophoric molecule that have the capacity to absorb the UV visible light. So UV visible light is the absorption spectroscopy, molecular absorption spectroscopy, while fluorimetry is the molecular emission spectroscopy. Both operates by absorbing or emitting UV visible light. Atomic absorption spectroscopy is used for the determination of the concentration of the metals in the sample. So it's a type of atomic absorption spectroscopy. Means here we can determine the concentration as well as the nature of different metals in the sample. Flame photometry is the atomic emission spectroscopy. Atomic absorption spectroscopy is the measurement of the intensity of light absorbed by the metal, while flame photometry will determine the amount of light emitted by particular metal. So and next one is IR spectroscopy. In IR spectroscopy, when IR radiation provided to the sample is caused the vibration in the molecule, and each functional group has a characteristic vibrational frequency. So on the basis of IR spectroscopy, we can determine the presence of a different functional group in the sample. NMR spectroscopy is a very useful technique for the determination of the nature of hydrogen and carbon in the sample. We can also determine the quantity of the sample with the help of NMR spectroscopy. So all these are the spectroscopic techniques that are involved for the determination of the pharmaceutical active substances. Next technique of pharmaceutical analysis is mass spectroscopy. In mass spectroscopy, the sample under investigation is targeted by high energy electron beam. When high energy electron beam collide with the substance, it causes the ionization of the substance and the electron emitted from the sample. So the positive ion that develop after the elimination of the electrons are sorted when it is passed through a analytical tube that operates under different electrical and magnetic field. So we can determine the mass upon charge ratio in mass spectroscopy, and on the basis of the mass and charge ratio of the of molecular ion, we can determine the molecular weight of the substance in mass spectroscopy. So mass spectroscopy is useful for the determination of the molecular weight of unknown sample. We can also determine the different fragmentation pattern in the sample that also give the information regarding the stability, or we can say the different types of bond present in the molecule that reflect the stability of the molecule also. So this is the mass spectroscopy, and basically it is used for determination of the molecular weight of the sample. Next technique of pharmaceutical analysis is chromatography. Basically, chromatography is a separation technique in which the mixture of different components is subjected to chromatography, and it is separated between two different phases called the mobile phase and the stationary phase. And after separation of different components of the mixture, their quantity may also be determined with the help of gas chromatography or high performance liquid chromatography. Some other techniques of chromatography are paper chromatography, thin layer chromatography, and column chromatography, high performance thin layer chromatography, that is also called as HPLC. Some other special techniques of pharmaceutical analysis are X-ray technique, in with the help of this X-ray technique, we determine the crystal lattice structure of the substance, or we also determine the arrangement of different bond in the molecule. So X-rays are generally emitted when high energy electron beam collides with any target. When high energy electron beam target or collide to any particular solid target, it causes the elimination of the electron from the any inner cell. So when this electron from the inner cell is eliminated, it is replaced by the electron present in outer cell. When electron from this outer cell enter in the inner cell, it emits some radiation that is called the X-rays. So this X-rays that is emitted by the sample is the characteristic for that particular sample, and its various peaks can be determined in order to determine the nature of the sample, as well as different types of bond present in the sample, its crystal lattice structure, etc. So this is the X-ray technique for the determination of the sample. Next technique is optical method. In optical method, we determine the refractive index of the sample, or in certain cases we determine this refractive index of the sample can be determined by using a refractometer. Generally, refractive index of different oils can be determined, which is the characteristic of that particular oil sample, and we can also determine the optical activity of the substance by using polarimeter. Different optical active substances have the capacity to rotate the plane of polarized light either in positive or negative direction. So the nature of optical active compound can be determined with the help of this polarimeter, which record the different degree of rotation of plane of polarized light by the sample. So these are determination of the refractive index and optical activity of the sample comes under optical method of pharmaceutical analysis.